do their address via radio.
Yeah. Well, they still do radio. Well, they did, didn't they?
Well, I'm sure it does still get broadcast radio as well as TV.
Well, no, Lane, was that West Wing thing a lie?
Which one?
With the president, he would do that Sunday address to the radio.
No, that used to be a thing.
Okay, so yeah. Really, the one that got rid of all the fun stuff was Nixon.
Oh, he got 4
Oh,
terms.
God.
FDR was elected 4 times.
No way.
Yes. Died in office in his 4th term.
Oh my
He
God.
was that
Really?
good of a president that they kept reelecting him.
Well, and they didn't have a standard where you could only do 2 terms.
No, he's the reason that we have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But I mean, 4 terms? Wow, that's impressive.
Wasn't he in a wheelchair by the end of it?
Uh-huh.
He was in a wheelchair almost the whole time.
Yeah, that's why
Oh, was he?
that's why the desk has that door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they say he wouldn't have been like today. We wouldn't elect a president in a wheelchair. That's the comment.
Yeah, that's because that guy in Texas was going to run, and I was going to vote for him.
Well, I mean, I think we'd elect if it was the right. I think we did. Is it Crenshaw? Dan Crenshaw?
Is that the Texas governor dude?
He's not the governor. He's a
Senator?
congressman.
He's a
Yeah.
congressman, yeah.
That
the
dude.
eye patch, Navy SEAL. I think he was a Navy SEAL.
That dude should totally.
He
be
was
our
Spec
president.
Ops for sure. I
Yes.
think he was a Navy SEAL.
I feel like he's
And I
the
think
answer.
you have the right name, Crenshaw.
And he's
That sounds right.
he's super well spoken.
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's an incredible public speaker.
I thought he was great,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, you would have voted for him.
I would have in a heartbeat.
I think everybody would have.
Well, not everybody.
Okay.
I can think
fair.
about half the country that wouldn't vote for him.
Yeah.
Is that the left coast?
Well, either coast, really. Minus the southern coast in
I was
Florida.
just going to say.
I mean,
Technically, Texas has coast.
I mean,
Oh, no, it does.
I feel like he'd get Texas
He would definitely get Texas.
and probably
He'd get Texas by a
Mississippi,
mile.
Probably Oklahoma,
Louisiana.
Kentucky.
He'd get Nevada.
Nebraska.
He'd get Nevada hands
for
down.
sure. Nevada. I mean, you're putting up some solid numbers there if you're that guy.
True. But it's
I
not
think.
enough. Because you got to get New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Iowa,
At
those swing
that
states.
point, yeah, you need Florida, which he probably would get,
Yeah.
and then
What are the swing states? Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania.
Iowa. What's coming up? Is it Iowa that's coming up?
Yeah, because Iowa's the worker state, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the one that's coming up first. Or it's how many different primaries do we have coming up later this month or next month?
My ballot says the 6th of February,
Okay.
I think.
Iowa's, what, a week off?
Is it?
I believe Iowa's a week off.
Oh, okay. Iowa.
And the New Hampshire's right after it. Or
Okay.
vice versa, or switch that around. I don't know which
No,
one's first.
Iowa's first.
Is Michigan a swing state?
Yes.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
Really?
It's the factory states, right?
Michigan, Wisconsin, sometimes Ohio,
Illinois?
sometimes Florida, not so much Illinois,
Pennsylvania?
Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania.
New Mexico.
Yeah,
Not
but
New
the-
Mexico.
No,
But the
not New
swing
Mexico.
states.
I thought it
the s-
was.
But the swing states are in the east.
Not all of them. Nevada and Arizona are both considered purple.
Wow. But I'm talking
Yeah,
about a
yeah.
swing state. And to me, it's like you could have all of the other countries. You could have all of the other states voting their colors, right? And then you've got 3 or 4, maybe, I don't think 5, swing states that they call them.
Yeah, and I'm telling you that Nevada and Arizona are in that category.
Yeah, because
Really?
think about when it comes down, like at the end, like we were always waiting for Arizona and Nevada. You're like, oh, we gotta wait for those two
Plus-
states to come in.
Okay.
You know,
Florida, Wisconsin, Ohio, although Ohio's gone red a lot lately. Michigan,
It
and
has.
Michigan's gone blue a lot lately.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. We keep skipping over Pennsylvania.
No, he's in Pennsylvania.
But Pennsylvania is more of an industrial worker.
Yeah, ish. I mean, it depends on where you're at now.
union-ish.
Yeah.
But that's what Michigan is too.
Well,
Right.
that's what's isn't it? The industrial states are really the swing states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have a bigger mixture there.
And really, I mean, with these two candidates, it doesn't matter. What we need to do is just pull independents. Do you consider yourself an independent? Yes. Who do you hate more, Biden or Trump? The other person's going to win. However that poll comes out, the other person's going to win. I can tell you right now, it's Biden. I'm pretty sure.
Wins?
Yes.
The re-election.
Yes.
Is he running?
Biden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet I've
Unfortunately.
been so out of like the world. I haven't really been paying attention.
Because, so this is what I think, right? The people that aren't going to vote for Trump, that are going to vote for Biden because of how much they hate him, are also the people that don't answer the phone for polls.
Oh, yeah.
Independents do not participate in the polling process generally.
No, that's true.
As much, for sure. I mean, yeah, they're a weak spot, so to speak.
Yeah.
And there's no real independent whip to do some counting.
Yes.
I'm just,
yeah.
I'm just using the words that I know from the West Wing. I don't really know if they actually work in these particular
The
scenarios.
whip is a particular position, minority majority whip, in Congress.
Yeah.
In the House of whatever.
Representatives.
That I was going to say House of Republicans, and I couldn't get the word.
Well, it is the House of Republicans right now, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
So the most recent thing that I've seen Trump comment on is that there was a
Kevin, would you-
pledge.
He's-
There was a pledge that he wouldn't sign in regards to overthrowing the
I have to go
government.
over there.
Ah.
Oh, don't
yeah,
worry about it.
so I'm like going,
'Cause I
okay,
was thinking
so
about that.
I wonder how many conservative votes he actually just lost in regards to that.
He's not on my sample ballot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Trump isn't?
No.
I thought they were waiting to see what happens.
I mean, maybe
Well,
they
in
printed it
Colorado,
late.
they want to pull him. They got the decision to pull him, but they decided not to until the Supreme Court weighs in, which will be too late for the primary, more than likely. They're hearing it, though, next month.
I thought
Okay.
Colorado reversed its position and included him on the ballot.
No,
No, not at all.
no. They are including him in the ballot until the Supreme Court weighs in. But they didn't reverse their decision.
Got it.
Their decision is to remove him, but they
he's on-
haven't removed him until the Supreme Court says something.
Got it.
Because this is probably an issue that the Supreme Court is going to decide for everyone.
So, okay.
Under what?
They're going to interpret the third clause of the 14th Amendment.
Okay.
I think it's the third clause.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Which
So-
there are some problems. I read it finally. It's like, oh, their biggest problem, if the Republican side of the court wants to keep them on, is that they enumerate all the things that trying to overturn a legitimate government, all the offices it prohibits you from taking. Like it doesn't say office; it lists specifically positions.
Yes, it does.
You know what it doesn't list?
Governor?
President,
No way.
not on the list.
Well, it's,
No,
not really
yes,
a
it
position.
is.
It isn't. Working for the office of the president is on the list. The president is not on the list. I'm fairly certain. You can look it up.
That's-
Wouldn't they count working for the president?
Nope,
'Cause
that's
you're-
different.
I think that's, yeah, working is like, if you're an aide, right?
So what I'm hearing you say is that if he was actually in office at this time and they brought that to bear, he could be included in the portion of the amendment that says he is not eligible for a future.
Why?
I don't know why.
He's saying for
I'm kind of airing this out.
so what Lane was saying was it doesn't include the president. So if he was president, it wouldn't matter still. It'd still have to be a decision by the courts. Like if he was the assistant to the president, then yeah, he can be nixed.
Interesting.
That's a fun little loophole, isn't it?
Oh, it also says the late insurrection. It's specifically talking about the Civil War. Doesn't matter.
So Robert E. Lee could have been, even though he was.
Yeah, it says shall be excluded from the right to vote for representatives in Congress and for electors for president and vice president of the United States.
Electors of the president. Expand on that. Help me figure that one out.
We don't vote for the president. We vote for electors who vote for the president.
Oh, the electoral college.
Electoral college.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right, I'm with Will here now. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense.
So there was an article that popped up in regards to he was unwilling to sign a pledge that he would not overthrow the government once in office. And then
But that's not a 14th Amendment issue.
no. This is side note.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't side note. This is his position on some stuff, as if he were to be elected into office. He would not. So he would not, prior to elections, primaries, he would not sign a pledge that said that he would not overthrow the government should he become president. And I like, oh, really? That was a little off-putting to me. It's like,
Well, listen, I find Trump generally off-putting.
but as a candidate, not to be willing to make that pledge.
He's more of a yogurt guy.
Well, he doesn't believe in our government right now. He doesn't believe in the people that hold offices in our government right now,
I
which
agree.
is fair. I don't believe in a lot of them either. But
that's
this
fair.
is the thing, right? Forget all of the political side of it. From the legal side of it, if they specifically enumerated those positions and not the president, that's one problem. The other problem is that makes sense, right? Because the president is voted on by the entire country, including the North. So this was meant to keep people out of positions of power who participated in the Civil War, who could be elected entirely by states who tried to secede,
Right.
right?
Oh, because it was.
But
it
the
was just
president is
13.
not voted on only by states that tried to secede.
No,
He's
it's
voted on by the entire country.
Yeah.
So if he decides to try and change the government once elected, the assumption is that he's doing the will of the people because he was voted on by
The will of the people.
all of the people through the Electoral College, but effectively, as our system interprets it, through the will of the people, all of the people,
Got it.
right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to craft it that way. Now, I don't know if they're going to interpret that way or not. I'm obviously not a Supreme Court justice. There are 9 of them, and they participate in the law a lot more than I do. But there are some serious problems with Colorado's argument.
And you're one of them. I'm sorry.
I'm not. Well, I said I am not one of them.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And you're not one of them.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say instead
Yet.
of, and you're one of them.
Oh God,
Yet.
would never happen, right? But they have real problems with this. Like, there's
Yeah.
nuance in that law that makes Colorado's argument look bad. I also think generally the entire court is going to be unwilling, as a principle, to remove the power of the people to vote for a candidate for any reason in that office.
Yeah, and I feel honestly, if we're gonna use Civil War things, the battle-born state's the only one that can get away with that.
You listen.
This is my late phase.
Lane.
I'm just saying, we're gonna own that.
You're
That's-
just trying to get me kicked out of Nevada right now.
I would never try to get you kicked out of such a beautiful place, but you do kind of live on the border.
I do kind of. I don't actually live in Nevada, just like people that live on the California side of Tahoe don't actually live in
You
California.
kind of do live in like the demilitarized zone of.
We do. This is the
Nevada,
DMZ between California and
yeah.
Nevada.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're splitting water rights.
Well,
we are not in the country exactly, but we are sort of next to it. It's fine.
Adjacent.
so let me
we
get
adjacent.
let me get you guys'
Battle adjacent.
perspective on not signing a pledge that says, as a candidate, you're not going to sign a pledge that says you won't overthrow the government.
Well, who presented the pledge?
I'm not sure.
I have serious
I think
questions,
it came
right?
out of the House of Congress.
Because if I have a political opponent who's like the House of which House of Congress?
The House of Representatives.
Okay. If I have political opponents that are like, or people I don't like generally, or really just anybody who's like, do this,
Yeah, you
my
just-
default answer is going to be no.
Well, the thing.
I
the
thought
thing
you,
is
you just
that-
pay to get them killed.
Oh, I have something else in regards to that. So,
Oligarch justice at work.
so I think it was out. It was definitely out of the House of Representatives that this pledge came, but isn't the House of Representatives primarily Republican?
Yeah, but the Republican Party would get rid of Trump if they could. Like at the top levels, I'm not talking about the people in the Republican Party. I'm talking about the people who hold office in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
They would get rid of Trump tomorrow if
Okay.
they could.
If they could.
Nikki Haley has a better chance of winning that office than Donald Trump.
Wow.
And I never thought I would say this about her, is more reasonable.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I can't get behind Nikki Haley.
Why not?
I'm not saying I would vote for her.
Oh.
I'm saying more people would vote for her than are going to vote for Donald Trump.
Okay, yeah.
Also, there is a little, like, if you're the Republican Party and your party elects the first female president, you can kind of look at the Democrats and, you know, laugh and snicker a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
No
yeah,
doubt.
That's
no
true.
doubt.
That's true.
And that's
Quien es este? What's going on, bud? We are kind of in the middle of something.
Oh, okay. Hey, you guys sell cigarettes here still?
We're really low on cigarettes right now.
Yeah.
What's that mean? You don't sell them? You ain't selling
I've got like 4. I haven't gone down to buy more. I've got like four kinds back there. What you can see is all we have. Casey, you want to take care of that?
Yeah.
Anything mental?
Mental? Yeah.
No, nothing mental. Yeah,
Oh, nothing mental.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anyway,
Congress.
So
What
yeah,
about Congress?
I mean, I could. I see where Nikki Haley is going to be voted on, or possibly more votes are going to go towards Nikki Haley than they would go towards Trump.
fun story. If they DQ Trump and
Yeah.
they put Haley on the ballot,
Yeah.
I think Biden's gone the next week.
What do you
They'll
mean?
find an out for him because I don't think he can beat her. So they're going to find someone real quick that can. And I don't think the person they're going to pick can either.
Who recently backed out?
I don't know. DeSantis? No, he
no.
he
DeSantis is
debated
still in
Nikki
there.
Haley tonight, right, or tomorrow night?
Oh, is that right?
I think that's
I
happening.
think that might be. I think it. No, it wasn't tonight because I didn't see anything in regards to that.
Soon though,
But-
or it just happened.
Yeah, I think it was either
Maybe it was yesterday?
or tomorrow.
I didn't watch it because
No,
I don't care that
It's
much.
actually Thursday. I believe it is tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I remember it was a Thursday.
Hey, you have a good night, man.
Because I remembered it definitely was a Thursday debate, and I was like kind of going, well, that's odd because the debates are usually on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So, needless to say,
Are they? Can't you have a debate whenever?
Yeah, you
you
can.
can. But
And they have. They like to pick. They stay away from
Prime time.
certain days because they do, for whatever it's still worth in cable, they do ratings on those days.
Oh, yes. Good old cable ratings.
Yeah, and then I don't remember when sweeps are, but they stay away from sweeps. They stay away from things where, like, the companies make their money,
No, okay.
just as a matter of courtesy.
It's only on like 2 channels anyway. Usually.
one major broadcasting channel.
Well, I think
Yeah.
they all put it on one of their cable affiliates.
Okay.
Because I feel like the last one was on like.
Well, it might not be true at this point. The left-leaning media might not put it on, might not put Republican debates on, and Fox News might not put Democratic debates on. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I can always find it. I don't really pay attention to what channel's on if I want to see it. I just usually don't want to see it.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
interesting
fair.
is so light bulbs are going off in my head, and one of the things that Trump is doing is he's going to be doing some sort of a broadcast about that. He's some sort of broadcast where he has the floor and he says whatever he wants.
Yeah, he
Kinda-
does that
kinda
against
like-
every debate.
Yeah, but I was not aware.
I
that
think
he
he's
did
done that against every debate.
You could also just follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, but
X.
or X. I don't. Well,
Disappointed Casey face.
First of all, you shut your four mouth. It's Twitter. It will always be Twitter.
well, it's so that aside,
Twitter.
guys. Doesn't he have his own
No, he was exclusive to True Social for a while.
True Social? But didn't he develop his own?
I think that was True Social.
Yeah,
Is that
True
True
Social.
Social?
He
was
might
the
have
one
done. He
jumped
might
to.
have tried another one, but then he signed a contract with True Social,
Yeah.
which is kind of stupid. Like it's kind of tongue in cheek, right? Because instead of saying a tweet, you say a truth, which is stupid. I mean, it's just dumb.
Vernacular.
I can get behind that though.
It's totally something you would do as a marketer.
140 character truths all day, baby, all day.
Anyway, what else
So-
did you have,
well,
Will?
So, what do you guys think about a candidate that believes that that the presidential immunity situation clause, whatever that is, condition,
Yes.
precludes them from being prosecuted for assassination of another?
Unless they're impeached, is what his argument said.
Yeah. There's a little line there.
Unless
They're impeached, but unless they are, unless charges are brought against them by the House of Representatives
And-
they are convicted in the Senate in a trial, then they basically conceded that they could be tried, right? But the idea being that you're acting as the single sort of culmination of the will of the people until the people decide that you're not, as made apparent by a trial of impeachment.
Okay, I follow.
What do I think? I mean, I think we have a lot of presidents that have killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Fair.
Senior.
Yes.
Yeah, senior.
Senior.
and also Junior.
Nixon.
Nixon. Yeah.
Every president
every
through
president.
every war.
Yeah.
Lyndon
exactly.
Johnson.
Obama and the drone strikes that he was so famous for
Well,
Right.
that's
in the Middle East.
But-
I mean, at some point, like
I guess that qualifies as assassination.
nations in acts of war or other, like gray area acts of war, kill people. So the question is, when do we find this person culpable? Like, when does it exceed an act of office? And the answer is, I don't know, but I'm not sure that you can craft a law that draws that line. I think that becomes, when you're talking about the office of the president, regardless of which party has that office at the time, I think that the cleanest answer for the court is going to be that it's a political question and the will of the people will dictate it.
Plus, when you're the president, you can do whatever you want.
So when I think of that assassination statement that he made, that would preclude him from being prosecuted because he's the president. I was thinking of that as specific person that would be assassinated, rather than the overall. Yeah,
And my point is, how do you draw that line?
no. I mean, as you put it, so acts of war and things of that nature would not be, to me, would not be a consideration of assassination.
Well, but I mean, we assassinated Osama bin Laden.
We actually have cards with.
He wasn't part of a nation that we could declare war against.
Yeah, he was just in the deck of cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all those murders would have been eligible for A, impeachment, and B, prosecution.
That's harsh. You know.
Well, if we'd ever signed on to the World Court,
Yeah. Political removal, I think. Is the
could
word
we have
you're
been
looking
tried for war crimes? Probably. Would we have been found guilty? Don't know. But probably.
Where's Geneva?
I mean, at the same time, everybody was after him. So
Yeah, my question is, listen, I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Right. No,
I think
where do you draw the
oftentimes,
line?
if you're killing someone within the country, you're probably wrong. But how do you draw the line? More importantly, how do you craft a law that draws the line reliably for every situation?
I hear you.
It's the
This is my problem.
It's a tough way. I mean, it's a tough act to follow. I mean,
it's the West Wing episode. Proportional response.
Yeah, but what's a proportional? I mean, it's not. It's actually not the proportional response episode. It's beyond that.
Is it?
Yes, it's the one where they killed the guy on the plane.
Oh yeah.
He's a walking command and control center was the line
Yeah.
from the fake country.
He was on the because they diverted the plane.
Never brought up on charges.
Yeah.
100% assassin. Like, that is murder.
Okay.
Now, is that murder that you're culpable for in a criminal court? Don't know. Would that have been considered a war crime in today's era? Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
So again, where's the line, right? The easiest way to draw the line in that situation is to ask the people or the people's representatives.
yep,
So in this case, we need the wisdom of the crowd.
pretty much. It would be, yeah.
Like, when in doubt, like when in the gray area, when acting as a nation for the nation's purpose, theoretically, who can tell you when you exceeded that scope? The nation itself.
That's a scary thought.
But how else do you do it? Is my question.
No, I mean, I
it
get
is.
how
It is
works,
a terrifying
but
thought,
it's a scary thought.
Well,
For
how do
sure.
you,
especially as inefficient as our country acts today.
I just because some people think the Earth is flat still, and I don't think they have any business telling me.
Yeah, conveniently they don't recognize. They don't represent anywhere near a majority of the people in the country.
Yeah, but they're registered voters, and that's scary enough.
Yeah, I just don't know how you craft a law. Like, I wouldn't know how to begin to write that law. Or how do you create jurisprudence that makes sense, that can be applied to the next case, and the next case, and the next case?
all right, hold
Yeah.
on. Jurisprudence.
Yeah.
Help
word.
me out with that.
Legal authority.
Okay.
Like
And
Like-
prescribed analysis, I suppose.
court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you put him in the court?
Well, because the court is about being predictable, right? This is what the law wants above all else, is predictability. Because if you don't have predictability, you don't have law. You have people making it up as they go. Right? So ideally what a law does is exist in a place where 90 to 95% of the cases that that particular law applies to are black and white. And there's some nuance where exceptions are made, but not many. I feel like in this case, when you're talking about the head of state acting in theory, like in Trump's case, he would definitely believe he's acting for the purpose of the country. Whether or not he is a whole separate issue. He would believe that, though.
Right.
So I feel like in this case, in that situation, every situation would be an exception, right? The law would merely be a reference point for the next exception.
And you bear that out in the court?
No, the thing is the courts don't want to bear that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to, like the courts, their natural inclination is going to be to make this a political question, I think, and not address it and tell people that it is up to who you vote for in Congress and the Senate to bring them up on charges and then convict them. And then, if they're convicted, find criminal culpability.
Which could absolve them from sentencing?
No, because if they're convicted in the Senate, if they're impeached,
Yeah.
again, the concession in Trump's argument was an impeached president, a fully impeached president, one found guilty in the Senate, not just impeached by the House of Representatives,
Right.
could also then be tried criminally for that same act because they exceeded the scope of their office as determined by the people of the country.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you don't have like a universal court because we don't recognize their authority, right?
Oh, like a world court?
Yeah.
No, we've never signed on.
Yeah, so we don't recognize their authority.
We helped create it, and then it came time to sign the charter, and we're like,
about that.
Don't think we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And that's NATO, right?
No, it's the World Court,
Yeah.
It's
No,
its own
NATO
thing.
is the North American Treaty Organization or something.
North Atlantic.
North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a group of countries that agree to certain things, like to defend each other if they're attacked.
Really, that's just for uniform bullets in places where we go.
You're like, you guys need to use the same shit we're using.
Yes.
And stop using some of this other shit.
Conveniently, you're like, oh, they all use 5.56. It's a NATO round. All right, we'll be okay. Art of war, man. Logistics is
Dude,
most of the battle.
my favorite, I guess it's a euphemism, but then proportional response is also a euphemism,
is,
I
yeah.
think, is the fat electricians. He calls them freedom fractions.
Freedom fractions.
I had
that guy's genius.
I had a podcast on today. All on.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was so. One of the main speakers was Tucker Carlson. Is that
Oh,
Oh.
I have a problem with Tucker Carlson.
right? Okay.
He makes one valid point and then flowers it into a bunch of just irresponsible statements.
Isn't that your problem with Bill Maher, too?
I just don't think Bill Maher's that smart.
Oh, there's that, too.
It's my problem with Jon Stewart. I like Jon
Oh,
Stewart a
yeah,
lot,
yep.
but he does move into the absurd relatively quickly. Like he makes one valid point and then attaches a bunch of assumptions that don't make any sense.
Yeah,
Bill Maher just strikes me as kind of a moron.
fair.
I just can't deal with him.
That's fair.
He makes comments. I'm like, I don't know how to. I couldn't.
Yeah, well, he's got like 20 writers, so
He does have.
yeah.
And he's not that funny for me. He's not that.
Not anymore. His stand-up used to be okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then he just kind of like once politically incorrect got canceled.
and it
kinda-
became something else.
Yeah, well, it became real time with Bill Maher.
Oh, okay.
Those were the golden days when it was politically incorrect.
Yeah, when it was
That
politically incorrect, it was good.
gold. I can't believe ABC put that on TV. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But it was
I mean,
late night. It was a talk show host.
I don't think Tucker Carlson's stupid. He's very well spoken.
Yes.
He's incredibly eloquent.
I could follow him.
But he moves into things that don't make his assumptions don't make sense to me. Usually towards the back half of his monologue, like he says some things that are true, that are objectively true, and then moves into punditry, but still makes it sound like objective truth. It's still framed the same way, even though it clearly becomes his own subjective analysis, and he doesn't delineate between the two. And Jon Stewart does the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's relighting their cigars.
So this is all in
Got to grab one.
podcast.
Oh.
All in podcast.
Go grab one.
I will, but I'm going to finish this Liga first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That league is pretty good.
It is really good.
They're all gone.
Anyway,
They only got He only got 1 box of Toros and 1 box of Robustos.
I guess I'll have to call my rep.
And I think I bought 8 of the Toros in the end. And there was a box of 10. I left 2 for other people,
They were
It's
good.
very generous of you.
right?
Very
So-
considerate.
So the name of the podcast is All In Podcast.
Okay. I don't know it.
Yeah, it was interesting to have on and kind of like ferret out their ideas.
I get a kick out of that one you showed me.
Which
with,
one?
With all the military guys.
Unsubscribe,
Yes.
which is great that it's called the Unsubscribe Podcast.
Yeah.
That one's hilarious.
Well, I realize now that like the fat electrician's on there sometimes.
oh, yeah. So is AK guy.
AK Brandon,
Yeah, Brandon
dude.
Herrera.
And then the other 2 guys who I've seen that are all operators, and they're just
Yeah.
hilarious.
Eli Double Tap.
Yeah.
He's the one. Did I show you the one where he literally like screams?
Yeah, about taking fire because
Yeah.
he was just lighting dudes up with the 50. And you're like, you're taking fire. He's like, what?
No, I'm not. How long's that been going? I think my favorite part of that whole clip though isn't his response, which is incredible. Like I was dying, and then he's like, I could just imagine the enemy.
He
He's
has no fear.
fearless.
I mean, you're not in that situation. You're not wrong. That dude's taking fire and just leveling dudes. Still, you're like, this guy's not going down. What are they giving these dudes?
What have we done? Yeah, no, that's a good one.
That comes from an unconscripted army, son.
And hearing a lot of their stories are the same stories that I hear from some of the people that come through here.
Yeah, well, that and it's a nice perspective
Yeah.
when you hear about certain things they start talking about, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Casey, do you know what you want?
What? No, I have no idea.
He hasn't seen
I
that
don't-
cigar room in 2
yeah,
months.
I don't.
Oh, grab his baggie.
Yeah, there we go. Grab that bag for me. Yeah, the goodie bag.
Yeah.
You missed out on.
Try
2
that
months of
fine and
cigar.
rare.
Ooh, you know what? That's a good idea.
All the stuff we
Oh, but you
tried
want my
while you were
cutter.
gone.
You want to be nice to it
Yeah.
Oh,
because they are fragile.
I'm waiting for that
Super.
box so I get one of my own.
Are we getting another box?
Well, we ordered a box of those cutters.
Oh, these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want my own.
I don't know what they're going to do. They're just going to credit us for that fine and rare.
Yes, we'll get a nice credit.
Okay.
I think because I don't think there's any more boxes left.
I don't
There
think
was
there were
only-
like 2500.
Yeah, so
They would probably need to package them in a different case.
I did risk it and sell one with a crack in it. The guy was begging for one.
oh, well,
It's like,
I mean,
I sold it to him at a discount. I was like, yeah.
much appreciated. You got
I said, listen, these are in this bag for a reason.
yeah.
I'll sell it to you. He was leaving. I was like, if you hang out and smoke and it goes bad, I'll replace it
Yeah.
with something else. But he's like, no, I got to take off. I'm like, all right, I'll give it to you for a discount and just cross your fingers it goes well.
Yeah.
I actually saw him later as I was leaving. He was like, that cigar was great and held up. I was like, okay, cool.
Hey, sometimes.
But it was worth it. I
That's
don't
what I'm
hate
saying.
this new camera angle.
No?
No. What do you think?
It grew on you.
What's that?
You know, it adds an interesting, more casual dynamic for you guys.
Yeah, I
over
think
there.
so.
You know, you're just like, hey, we're hanging out.
Yeah.
So it grew on you.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Looking at it on the live stream, I don't hate it. I don't know.
I like it.
What did you guys wanted to talk about? Oh, you wanted to talk about Gunther Steiner.
Yes.
I can't believe he's gone.
So I read.
Do
the
we actually
article.
get one more? Is he going to be on Drive to Survive?
So yes. So technically, remember, Drive to Survive is
Shot the previous season.
yes. So this season of Drive to Survive is pretty much the last season because there's no way that show goes on without Gunther Steiner. Like
Right?
he is the poster child for Drive to Survive. I legitimately watch that show just for him. I think.
I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's always like, "What the fuck are we doing here? This is bullshit." You know, we go out there, we fucking race, and we crash this fucking
I
bullshit.
mean, can they really hold him accountable for losing in the most underfunded team in F1?
From the article I read, which was from F1,
Yeah.
it sounds like they had a very civilized conversation
Okay.
between Gunther and Gene, and because Gunther's the third longest team principal.
Yeah.
You know, the only people that beat him are Toto and Christian. So he's been there for I think 16 years.
Forever.
Yeah. So I think what it boiled down to, because last year wasn't necessarily a terrible season for Haas. I mean,
They had some bright spots.
they did. They had some okay problems that were easily fixable. I think the main problems were just we can show up on Saturday, but we can't show up on Sunday
Yeah.
to save our life. And Kevin was driving the crap out of that. Haas car for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I think it's just in the end. I think it's just the stress is too much for him.
It's got to be a tough job, especially when you're losing.
Well, and he was always personally answering to Gene.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference when like if you're Toto, who from Mercedes is going to tell you how to do your job. But when Gene calls you and his name is on the company, and he's like, "Why am I spending $56 million for another car when we just built one?" Oh, sorry, because we crashed it this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's the point? The other news is that Haas might get sold
Really?
to Andretti.
Oh, rather than Andretti having a team?
Apparently, if Andretti doesn't get in, he might just buy Haas. Basically, he's like, I'm going to get in no matter what.
Who buys Haas if Andretti gets in?
I mean, I don't know. I'm curious.
Well, we're going to have Ford Motors in 2 years.
Yeah, that's a Red Bull deal.
Yeah, but
They're not going anywhere.
they could still supply the motors and also buy a team.
That's true. That's true. I guess they could.
They have the money.
They definitely have the money to buy Haas for cheap.
Also, I mean, it's Ford. If they're like, Chevy's getting in.
That's the thing, right? Is you really do need like the other American motor company to like put their toe in, and Ford's like, nah, we're going to the deep end.
Yeah.
Well,
We're in.
but a lot of the domestic automakers are in trouble right now. The auto industry is flipped to where it's now a buyer's market rather than a seller's market. And
Oh yeah, cars are ridiculous.
but also Ford and GM's commitment to get into EVs is what has sucked the life out of them.
But you know what changes that? Having an F1 team.
Yeah.
Oh, you could dump all the resource money in. You're like, no, we're developing Kers.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing is that
we're building a better battery.
so, but aren't most of the F1s, or if not all of the F1s, a hybrid?
F1 is a hybrid. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
so
a hybrid technology.
I mean, that's where I think they should have gone to begin with. Is they should have gone through the evolution of, the automobile, the what they call ICE, internal combustion engines.
Yes.
Gone to, the hybrid type of car.
Well,
rather
they
than-
they did that.
Well, aren't they actually? It's really a triple hybrid, though, right? Because it's a turbocharged hybrid.
It's a 1.6 liter twin turbo hybrid car.
So they're 2/3 the way there already. I mean,
Yeah.
Ford and Chevy have both already gone that direction with their full size trucks.
Yeah,
I think my dad got the last
just ICE.
Chevy Silverado model that wasn't like a 2.4 liter turbo.
Oh, what has he got? A 3.8 liter?
I think he's got a.
Bigger.
I think it's bigger than that.
It's
Bigger
probably the
than that.
5.7 liter
Yeah.
because that's
Oh.
what their 350 was. Most of them were 5.7 or 5.3.
Oh, so they're still working with the 350 concept.
But-
oh, okay. But,
but
they're
there's-
calling it liters.
I mean-
But they're
instead?
going away with it.
Well, you have the
Yeah.
Chevy 350 and it has a 5.7 liter.
Oh,
But they're going away from all of those
right.
to
Hybrids.
smaller turbocharged motors.
Yeah, so
sad.
if you have to develop a smaller turbocharged motor, why not also have fun? while
Yeah, if
doing
you're
it?
already doing most of the R&D
Yeah.
anyway.
Right.
Have some fun.
And I mean, all you have to do is shift some dollars out of marketing. Their marketing budgets are massive.
And you know what? It still applies. Race on Sunday, buy on Monday.
Is it really true for Ferrari though?
I mean, the Tifosi would say yes.
How many of the Tifosi do you think actually own a Ferrari?
Probably more than you think.
I bet not.
I bet a good selection of them are factory workers, get a good discount.
The Tifosi is massive.
Yeah.
They don't make that many Ferraris.
Well, they make
To
some.
begin with.
Yeah, hang on, no, because that's not necessarily true.
Well, they lie about their numbers.
yeah,
But they
Ferrari
still don't make
lies.
that many. You could triple what they say they make, and it's still not that many.
That's true. That's true. I think they only made 150 Enzos technically, but there are 200 VIN numbers for
Yeah.
Enzos floating around somewhere.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the number of cars they make, they've got 3 years of back orders.
Well, yeah,
3 to 5 years of back orders. that-
handmade Italian perfection.
Right.
Yeah.
So when Lane says they don't make that many, I totally agree that they probably only make, 200 to 300 a year?
Highly expensive
if
parts.
that, there's a we should watch it. There's a factory episode where they show you how Ferraris are made.
Oh, okay.
It's actually really interesting.
I'll bet.
I'd
Yeah.
be more interested to see a factory episode on how Noble is made.
Noble.
Well, you remember that Top Gear Ground Garden Force video? It's kind of like that, just with more sheds.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. It's a Noble,
A shed in Leicestershire.
a well-built shed in Leicestershire, right off the A10 expressway.
So
They-
getting back to the size of engines.
Yes.
In order to build a truck engine that has enough power to pull,
Mm-hmm.
don't you have to have a 5.7 liter?
That's
Not
why
anymore.
they
No,
throw
no,
turbos
no,
on it.
no,
No, huh?
no. We're talking. It's all about torque conversion.
Right.
You know, so you're just building more complicated torque conversions for a smaller engine to build up to bigger torque.
Wow.
I think that F-150 engine is like
It's still,
small, right?
I feel like it was
like a two?
strained.
I think it's 2.6 liter.
Yeah, it's like 2.6. It's tiny.
And it's got an
technically.
11,500 pound tow capacity or something.
Yeah, it,
Oh, well.
it kicks in good.
What were you going to say, Kevin?
I don't know. I spaced it.
Okay.
It's gone now.
Fair enough.
It's not a
Yeah.
big deal.
I know what that's like.
Paul.
Oh,
So we've got snow.
Oh, I know.
That
I
does-
think
that- no,
if we get
no,
out of here
no,
early enough,
no,
I'm going up
no,
tomorrow.
No, you don't get to bring up the snow thing.
why not?
When was the last time you were on the mountain?
Today.
Like, yeah, exactly.
It was
How many vertical feet have
December
you
of
done?
22
It
was
was-
the
yeah,
last time I was up
3,000.
there.
Yeah,
and
exactly. You don't get to talk about
3,400 and
snow. It
something.
doesn't matter for you.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, my job actually depends upon people coming up and skiing.
You're a mall
getting
cop.
on that snow.
You're a mall cop. Yeah.
I'm a mall cop.
It turns out if
boy.
you're not on the mountain, you just stand down by one of the kiosks and go, "Yes, I'm securing this kiosk."
It's funny is I noticed my body position. I puff up, and it's like, wow. I mean, it's
right.
like-
Well, listen,
it's wild.
I
Yeah.
walked into the office with you sitting in the chair,
yeah.
and there's definitely a security posture in your tone
Is that right?
before you recognize who I am.
Oh, how funny! How funny!
Yeah, you got your little badge
is
and your
it a little-
sunglasses, and you got a whole different attitude.
Is it? I got my vest.
Then once you
I got my
realize
badge
who
and
it
my
is, you're like,
vest.
Oh,
Turns out in a helmet, I'm hard to recognize, I guess.
with a beard, without a
That's
beard.
not true. He's never recognized me on the mountain. I can't tell you how many times I've come up to him working on the mountain. And I'm like, hey, Will. And he's like,
Who? What?
oh, what's going on, Lane? Yeah.
This is true. It's out of
Wow.
context
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's-
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have to admit.
He's trying to register the voice, the height.
Yeah.
I
Well,
bet it's worse if I show up on skis.
I don't think you've ever done that to me, have you?
I don't think I have.
Not yet.
I thought you guys went skiing
Not yet.
together.
Well, we did go skiing together.
Yeah, but then he knew in advance.
Oh, okay. I got like you haven't surprised him. Like I'm skiing today.
Wasn't it? Did I go skiing with you at Heavenly and also Park City? Did you?
yes, we've been
Okay.
skiing at both. Because I filmed you coming down Ridge Run that one day.
That one day, yeah.
Remember? And then we also skied at Park City.
I want to get some more film of me on skis.
Yeah, I
need-
kind of want to get a
You have to get
a
on the mountain to do
GoPro.
that.
I have to get on the mountain in order to do that. You're absolutely correct.
Do you
JC.
need a GoPro?
I want to get a GoPro to film students.
No. I mean, I have one if you want. I'll bring it in for you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have many things.
That way you can show them what they're doing and what they need
Well,
to do.
because they swear they're like, I wasn't on my back foot, and I'm like, you literally lifted your front foot and the board off the ground. And they're like, I didn't do that.
I saw this invention for snowboarding that I didn't know existed. It was just a big treadmill.
Oh,
And
Oh.
it was like the coolest. I was like, "Where's that?"
But it went side to side.
No, so it was like a hill, like it's angled, like you're going downhill, and the guy just kind of coasted on it, and he's like, "Look what I can do." He's like, "I'm on my back foot, I'm on my left foot, and I'm on my right foot," and he was just doing circles like in place, and I was like, That's so cool. Like, where's the
Well,
treadmill?"
it's instead of you moving on the mountain's moving on you.
Yeah.
Which actually is a lot more like surfing. That's one way that they. So I had a couple buddies that surfed, and I go. In fact, it was Greg. I go, Greg, how does that work? And he goes, well, just think that you're on this plank, and the wave
Yep.
is continuously moving, and sometimes it breaks onto you. And I go, so how does this equate to skiing? And he goes, it really doesn't equate to skiing that much. But this guy, he had balance. He's he's an insane athlete. I mean, he does triathlons. This guy is just. But the best description he had of surfing for me was, think about the fact, A, the wave is also moving, and you on your board are also moving. So it's not like just snowboarding where you're moving and the mountain isn't. It's like a combination. The mountain is moving and you are moving.
Oh.
And it's like, and that's surfing. And that's how you. And I
Until you
go,
hit an avalanche, then everything's moving.
Speaking of avalanche,
Oh yeah, we had one in Palisades today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they were searching for people afterwards, apparently.
Yeah, they lost one, and one
Yeah.
guy was injured.
and one is critical.
I heard he wasn't critical.
He wasn't critical,
I heard it was non-life threatening injuries.
but I heard also that they found 12.
Oh, and I heard only 2 were buried.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I saw. I could be wrong.
Oh, so they wrote it out.
Some did. Some tried.
It didn't. I mean, it was a deep crown, but
don't
it didn't
know.
look like it shifted very far.
Well, I think they got away with some. I mean, not that Palisades was trying to get away with something, but I think they got away with a pretty, what could have been a pretty catastrophic situation. They came out fairly unscathed.
I didn't think it had snowed that much.
Yeah, the problem is, so there was a surface hoar layer, which is just a super frozen spiky layer on top that got snowed on. And it's whatever snow lands on top of that until it consolidates, basically until it condenses. It's like putting snow, it's like putting something on ball bearings.
Oh, okay.
That's a good analysis.
It
yeah.
doesn't take much to release it. And it all released on that layer.
And I'm thinking that layer, that initial layer that's, the icy kind of spiky, was man-made snow.
No, it wasn't, because it also happened in the backcountry.
Oh,
I saw a bunch of reports of backcountry avalanches too. And it formed on like January 2nd and then got snowed on.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just last week.
Yeah.
So that snowstorm we got last weekend was kind of what?
Yeah,
the
well,
snow
because
came
here
from.
it's not cold enough. That stuff usually consolidates pretty fast in the Sierras. We don't have near the avalanche problems they do in the Rockies.
Right.
Because it gets warmer. And facets turned around pretty quickly in warm conditions.
Oh, okay.
So are we more avalanche prone or we
Less.
just
We're less.
Okay.
Because we get the cement, basically.
Yeah, well, and because our freeze-thaw cycle has a bigger shift.
Oh.
Like it gets warmer than it does. Like Colorado and Utah, it's cold.
It stays cold.
Even during the day, it's cold. Like much colder than here.
Right. We have that like, oh,
Although,
it's,
although we've been
30s.
having some pretty cold days.
Yeah, well, that's why it hadn't consolidated.
Oh,
is because it hasn't warmed up.
Got it. Where before it was warmer and we were making snow, or that first storm that did come in that wasn't here very much, it's like 1 to 3 inches.
I mean, you guys were still making snow when I was on the mountain today.
Are we on the mountain today?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, he got snowboarding.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I actually
He now officially has more vertical feet than you do.
3,400 and change.
3,400 and change?
Yeah.
Dude, at this point,
That's
I'm just
one-
going to go
that-
up and
that's
sled
one
down, so
day.
I've got more
That's-
vertical feet.
That's like 1/3 of one day for me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm still
But
a
I
beginner.
know, you're
so-
still
Yeah,
learning.
most half days for me are 10 to 12,000 vertical feet.
But
When
it's nice because I didn't fall at all. I stayed up the whole time. I figured out how to shift my weight forward more, so I'm not riding the back foot like you were saying. Because I do that and I notice it.
Everyone does it.
I'm like, because I was messing around on the kid's skateboard last week in the house because hardwood floors. And I was goofing around and I opened them and I was moving around. I'm like, huh. I'm like, I can still do all this. I can do a kickflip, and I'm like, this is different than snowboarding. A lot different. And
It's
I'm
because
like,
your weight's on the back foot?
yeah, and that's why I lean so much on the back foot is because I was skateboarding for so long.
Oh, yeah. Almost all board sports. This is what I tell people when they learn to snowboard. The only exception to that, I had one guy that had been surfing for like 20 years, and he owned it.
Right.
And it took him about 40 minutes. Like, we got to the end of the lesson, and I had him linking turns like an hour and a half in.
I'm still having
Solid
a hard
turns.
time with that.
And he didn't kind of link turns. Like, I demoed link turns for him, and he followed my path down exactly.
Well, a lot of my learning was self-taught, and then you telling me, "Hey, you're doing this. You need to do this."
Yeah.
And now that you know the actual steps,
The
to
progression, I'll write the progression out for you. You can take a look at it.
figure it out.
Yeah. It's pretty easy. But he nailed it.
Well, you can teach him as long as you don't get money from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can take him up. And I've offered to.
Today was one of those days where I was up early because
Well, and I would have gone up today and joined him, but I was on North Shore.
Yeah.
because I shot him a message when I asked him how it looked up there, and I was already on my way up.
Yeah.
When I saw your message, I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't look that bad. A little bit of snow.
Yeah.
So did you come all the way over to California Lodge?
Yeah, because only Stagecoach is open on Nevada side. I didn't see Boulder open.
No,
It's
it
not
isn't.
yet.
It's
Yeah.
not. They're blowing snow like.
I mean, with the snow we're supposed to be getting 2 feet tonight.
I'm sure they want to have it open this weekend for lessons.
Oh,
Yeah.
I must. Yes.
If they miss Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and MLK for that lodge, they've probably lost 60% of their total revenue for the year.
for that lodge.
Is it MLK
for that area?
already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This weekend.
Yeah.
I know. I was surprised. Somebody said something. I go, "Oh, holy smokes!" I wasn't aware that it was MLK.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm sure they want it open this weekend for lessons.
Well, there used to be. They used so back in the day, and that's not really that long ago. When Jimmy was still teaching, there was this other guy that had retired as well, Steve O'Brien, and he used to be the head of teaching of ski school for Boulder, and he said that no matter what, that as long as they're open for ski week in February,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and President's Day, that's when they made all their money, because they looked at that as a lost leader, but they were still getting a lot of kids up there and teaching them, and hopefully there would be, that would born more market share.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Boulder is the best lodge for first timers
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
and second timers and third timers.
And not just snowboard.
Yeah. It's wider than all the other green runs. It's longer than Patsy's.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, Patsy's.
And it has a decent little steep section at the end where they can start to get their courage up.
Yeah, I did 4 runs on
So-
Patsy's today, and then I went to Maggie's.
Yeah.
That way I could get back in the groove.
Yeah.
What's that one?
That's a good progression.
Over by
Is
the
that right?
Cow
Lane?
Lodge.
Progression?
Yes.
By Cal Lodge?
Yeah, what's the one?
First ride.
Yeah, that one.
Like right at the bottom.
Yeah, first
I,
ride.
I don't know why they ever built first ride. It's a garbage run to learn on.
Oh, is it?
Is it?
It's narrow and awkward. The exit is steep and it curves. It's a terrible run to learn on.
Interesting.
I'll take people up to Patsy's. So what I'll do is I'll get them, make sure they can side slip, because they have to be able to do that steep section from the top of Patsy's chair down to the bottom where the run starts.
Right.
So as long as they can side slip, like heel slip,
Yeah.
I'll take them up to Patsy's because it's a much better run to practice on.
Got it.
You get it's longer, it's wider, so you can do a bunch of like single-sided garlands. You can just repeat heel side, and then you can repeat toe side. And then when you want to link turns, there's plenty of room side to side for you to go across, wash enough speed, just going straight on a flat that you're not like once you point the board downhill, it's not going to pick up so much speed that you panic and go back seat. You can lean into it and then turn on the other side. Like it's just a better run for it. You can't do any of that on first ride.
I was just going to say, can't you do that on first ride?
No, it's too narrow.
Oh, okay.
Not for. I mean, you could do it on skis. I don't think it's a bad run to learn on for skiers. I think it's a terrible run to learn on for snowboarders. I don't go anywhere near it.
Well, and when they built First Ride, it was primarily a skiing environment. It wasn't a snowboard environment.
That's where I
Yeah,
learned how to
when they
snowboard.
built that.
I don't like that run. For snowboarders, I don't like that run.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It has the bowl on the top, right?
Yeah, it's got a little like it turns
Yeah,
around like
weird
it's
turn
steep and then
bowl.
angles down and then comes this. It's awkward.
Yeah,
It's
steep.
just awkward.
It's steep off the
Off the chair.
chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Boulder isn't that steep either.
No, Boulder's pretty flat off
Yeah.
the chair.
Yeah.
Flat and wide.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm
it
telling you,
no,
Boulder's-
it is wide.
Boulder's the best run to learn on that mountain.
Okay.
It's-
And
I s-
we've
yeah,
gotten
because-
there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because even Easy Street or Big Easy Chairlift in Easy Street, that's still narrow.
And it's short.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Big
yeah.
Easy is super short.
But isn't that kind of good
No.
for new people?
No, because I need, like, for a snowboarding progression for new timers, you want them to do 15 to 20, basically like straight line into a heel side stop and repeat. Straight line into a heel side. So what you're teaching was to get their weight forward, to release an edge and let the nose of the board draw forward, and then back into a heel side stop, and then again, and then again, and then again, right? And then you teach them toe side traverse, and then you're going to teach them heel side turn. So all that is a toe side traverse, let the nose draw down into a heel side stop. That's your first half turn, right? And then you're going to go to toe side garlands. So then you're going to go toe side, you're going to let the nose draw in, toe side stop. Let the nose draw forward, toe side stop. Let the nose draw forward, toe side stop. And you want to do it 15 to 20 times. Then you're going to start to teach them the full S turn, right? Because once they can do a heel side traverse into a toe side stop, that toe side stop becomes a toe side traverse, and then they just naturally let the nose fall down, and then they go into a heel side stop. And that's an S turn. And then once you can link turns on a snowboard, you can go anywhere.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
we just got the heel stop down.
Yeah.
What I learned.
That's what I got. Too.
So-
I mean, the heel side stop is everyone's e-brake.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I said this on the last podcast, but I had a guy and a gal come up to me when we were at the top of the gondola, and they said, "What do you think about going down Caltrain and going that direction?" I go, and he was teaching her, and I looked at her and I go, "Can you do falling leaf?" And she kind of nodded yes. And I go, "Can you do more than falling leaf?" And she goes, she kind of like hesitated, right? And he goes, "Well, is it steep?" And I go, "Not really, but you can't get the momentum going that you need to in order to get down Cal Trail."
Yeah, I mean, for snowboarding,
Yeah.
the question is, can you stop heel side? And can you let your board run? Like, can you put the nose forward and let your board run for an extended period of time? Because if you can't do cow trail.
So
Just like you can't do sky trail.
So if all she could have done is falling leaf, it would have taken her over 2 hours to get down Cal Trail.
No, it would take her 45 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes.
Then I grossly
That's a traverse.
overspoke the time it would take for them to
Now, sky trail could take an hour and a half to 2 hours.
really,
Yeah.
Because
In fact, I was there for that.
because it's so narrow.
Yeah, because they get really scared. And especially, okay, so if you're riding regular, especially, and all you know how to do is a heel side stop, you're doing a heel side stop towards the edge. Like every time you go to stop, you're pointing your board to a newcomer, what looks like a cliff.
Skyways or
Yeah,
skiways.
skiways, pinnacles, the whole thing, right?
Right.
And they get terrified.
Oh, no doubt.
And then they just unbuckle and walk.
And you were there for that,
I was there for that.
and you weren't getting paid.
Last season I went off one side, but I managed to get out of it still.
Damn Jerry.
Were you on Skyline?
I don't know where I was. I made it to this weird spot, and there was like this whole edge that just went down, and I didn't stop the right way, so.
And it was a bunch of trees. Yeah, it sounds like you were on Skyline.
That was the sketchy part about first run is that it pretty much drops into the parking lot at some points.
First
Yeah.
ride?
Yeah.
First ride jumps right into the lodge.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
off the side.
And
You're like,
pe-
oh.
If you're up higher off the side?
Yeah, if you're up a little higher before the lodge shows up, it's like, oh, there's the parking lot
Yeah.
with some trees in the way.
Yeah, the trees will help you stop.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will.
And send you to the hospital.
Like Wile E. Coyote.
But I'm thinking if you drop there, you're in a world of hurt.
Yeah. No, it's not pretty. It's a little sketchy. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Keep your
not,
sign.
it's got side hill, like it's an awkward run.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I don't think.
That's for teaching newcomers. What about you? You just don't like it in general? Even
I don't like
you?
it for teaching. No, I could ride it. I wouldn't even turn on it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No,
I would
that-
just
You point the board and say,
I would just go.
I seem to remember, I think we were there because, like, the locker room we were using, like, opened up right to that
Yeah,
side
it's
of
right
that.
there. The
Yeah.
kids' locker room opens up to that. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you were just like, okay, we're just going to stay here. And I was like, oh, cool, whatever.
Yeah, I just don't like that area for teaching. I don't
Yeah.
think it's valuable. Like the people are, like you need them to be comfortable to learn anything, and no first or second timer is comfortable on first ride, ever.
No. That's fair.
And then the guys that are comfortable on first ride, why not take them? Like that surfer kid, I could have taken him to Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because
He asked me, he was like, "Should I take another lesson?" I'm like, "No, I want to see you on the mountain." Like, I want to see you riding.
Right.
You don't need me at this point.
Just-
go ride some blues,
Go ride
get comfortable
Ridge
on
Run.
some steeps, and then if you want to take an advanced lesson, give me a call.
Yeah.
Like, I'll show you some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Show you how to shred the narwhal. Yo.
Once you get confident,
Just my late face.
once you get confident on a blue run, it's not far away from getting off trail and having some fun.
Oh yeah, on a snowboard.
Yeah.
If you can link turns on a blue run, on a legitimate blue run, like parts, like if you can link turns next to the wind fence on Ridge,
Ridge Run.
you can ride anything in the mountain.
Okay.
Oh,
That makes sense.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the skills are there. That's it, like if you can link turns on a section that's that steep, until you're talking about like 50-degree pitches or something stupid, you can link turns anywhere on the mountain, doing whatever you want.
So it's funny, we're talking about all these runs and stuff, and we were talking about vertical feet, and I just realized that it doesn't matter what side of the mountain I'm on, doesn't matter where I start out from as long as it's the top of sky. So you got to start from the top of sky.
Yeah.
is what I'm trying to say. And you can go all the way down to the bottom of Stagecoach, come back up, and go all the way to the bottom of California Lodge. Those runs are open where you don't have to take a chair in order to get to the bottom,
Just send it.
theoretically.
Yeah. And the face. Just send the face. No turns.
I mean, on a powder day on a snowboard, you can,
Yeah. They should just put one of those big soft like
And you
cushion
did.
walls.
and I have.
And
Yeah.
you did. Yeah.
I mean, it's just the right steepness on a board with good float that you're really not turning much at all.
Yeah.
You're doing like little adjustments to change your direction, but it's just little. Like, you don't have to throw big turns on that.
That is the one drawback or regret that I have from last year is that I didn't get up on the face with all that snow.
Oh, on some of those powder days?
Yeah.
Some of those videos, though, I mean, I saw one video from the face last year where there had to be 50 people turtled at the top.
Oh, really?
It's just a minefield of people just turtled.
Oh, no fooling. Oh, that sounds. I didn't. Okay. Maybe I was okay. Maybe I am okay for not getting out there.
I saw a video I thought was interesting.
What's that?
And you know that pole rope that
Yeah,
you
the
use for
tow
like
rope.
wakeboarding?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They had one connected to a helicopter. And the guy was on a snowboard. He was going up the hill, being towed by the helicopter. It was pretty impressive.
That would be.
I was like, that kind of looks way more fun than going downhill is to go uphill.
Yeah. That would be. That's a. Wow. Going uphill.
Yeah, well, it was
a new one.
it was weird because it was like, he's going uphill and this helicopter has to fly low
Right.
because the tow rope is there.
Got to stay low too. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like holding on to this tow rope and people are coming down the mountain. So people are going down the mountain while this helicopter is coming at them. Like, if that's your first day on the mountain, you're just going, what did I sign up for? Is this
So-
normal?
So no, it's not normal. So are you familiar with kite surfing?
Yes.
So they do that on snow.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen tow rope on a helicopter.
No, that's
that was
that's
pretty
unique.
cool.
That is unique. I don't.
He was like going up skids and like doing cool twist turnaround. I was like, this is cool. It's just like wakeboarding, but
Going
on
uphill.
snow with a helicopter.
Going uphill.
Must be nice to have that kind of money. And
Yeah.
sponsored by Red Bull.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I like Red Bull sponsorship. You can basically just like, all right, so here's what I want to do, and Red Bull's like, we can do that.
Yeah. Does it cost more or less than an F1 team?
Yeah. Well, even then, they're like, how can we improvise putting the F1 car there? Because it's been on the mountain with snow chains.
Yes.
It's been in 0G. It's fought a rugby team. I mean, I was really surprised that the rugby team held that thing down. It was impressive.
Held what down?
The F1 car,
Why would that be a surprise?
because it's an F1 car. It was like pedal to the metal. I think Danny Rick was in third gear, and floor like burning rubber, and the rugby team's just standing there like, nah, you're not going anywhere, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Shift to floor.
gosh.
Yeah. What else have they done with the F1 car?
They just held it there, huh?
They just held. It was amazing. I was like, wow.
Do you think did they have downforce, or did you think they had
I think
a lift for it?
I think they just had a combined leg lifting weight more than what the output of that motor was.
Right.
So a full rugby team has more than 1,000 horsepower in their legs.
Or more torque.
Yeah. Either way, it was very impressive.
Not bad.
The mountain one's pretty fun though too. I'm like, that looks kind of fun.
Custom chains, right?
Yes, those were Pirelli custom chains.
Pirelli's like, you want to do what to our tires? No.
Pirelli's like,
Well, maybe. But we're designing them.
yeah, look, first of all, I'm only going to give you one set of wets.
Yeah.
That's all you get. So don't mess these up. And I can't promise these chains are just going to stick on if you go faster than 60.
It'd be impressive on a ski slope going faster than 60 uphill. Downhill would be easy.
Yeah, no, uphill.
Yeah.
Helicopter. Is the answer.
Helicopter.
Helicopter's the answer.
That's the answer.
Yeah. I thought it was a Warren Miller film. I was like, how do you get this money? Like, how do you get sponsored for that? What mountain said, yeah, go ahead? That's the other question.
That's
A mountain in Europe.
Yeah,
that's probably, yeah.
No doubt.
Just sign the waiver, you're good.
I mean, how many mountains have let the Top Gear guys, just bastardize their slopes?
That's
fair.
that's true. Who hasn't wanted to do that though?
Well, speaking of waivers or release of liability
Okay.
clause, how enforceable is that? I mean, I think we've had this conversation
It's the
before.
accepted response. It's accepted danger.
Well, it depends on the
reliability.
state, right? So California, it's really hard to sue a ski resort, just period.
Right.
Because in California, skiing and snowboarding is an inherently dangerous activity, which means you assume the risk and assign no one else duty to protect you.
That's
right?
it. Yeah.
So you accept all the liability.
Yeah. So the waivers aren't as good as they think they are. They're mostly there to convince the people that sign them that they can't sue. It's not about making them blameless or making it so they can't win. They're probably not going to win anyway. But if you sign the waiver, you're like, oh, I can't sue because I signed a waiver. But you probably can't sue anyway. But the waivers also go too far, I think, because they say things like all negligent and reckless behavior on part of the owner, operator, third party, whatever, Except it's my understanding that California makes it impossible to waive reckless behavior. You can waive negligent behavior all day long. Reckless behavior is a little bit different. So if they're willfully reckless, whether you waived it or not in contract, you can probably sue them and win.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I mean, the skier of the border can still
Yes.
prevail?
If they're willfully reckless or they did something to increase the risk of what is otherwise stood to be the acceptable risk of that activity.
Oh.
Does that mean like skiing drunk?
No. That means like
Going uphill with a helicopter.
No. We're talking about the ski resort, right? So,
Oh, like the backwards chair thing?
yeah, I mean, that's probably part of the accepted risk. A rollback would be part of the accepted risk.
Oh, okay.
Leaving you on a chairlift overnight, probably not part of the acceptable risk. If you had equipment that you made more dangerous in order to keep it running, probably exceeding the scope of any waiver. If you're increasing the likelihood that someone can be harmed by whatever you're doing. I don't know. If you exploded the blade like on a cat, like on a groomer,
Yeah.
and didn't go clean it up because you didn't have time,
Oh,
Before
and
opening.
someone like falls and impales themselves on one of those things,
Oh.
probably increasing the risk otherwise accepted by someone participating in that activity.
Sure.
Right? So you can't do something that increases the risk, and you can't do something that's willfully reckless.
And that's, you're talking about.
Like
the
willfully
ski
reckless
resort.
would be like, there's a speed that is recommended as the safest speed you can operate a chair, say at full weight, fully loaded. And they decide they've got too many people on the mountain. So knowing the danger, they run it 50% faster than is the acceptable safest speed. Probably exceeding, at that point, they're probably willfully reckless with other people's safety, and you could win a lawsuit.
So yeah, and you're talking about it from a ski resort's ability to defend itself.
Yes.
Got it. But you know, when you think about it, Vail Corp has got a huge legal contingent.
Yes, and I think they know all this. And this isn't news. Are they going to tell the people that participate? No, they're not.
No.
Yeah.
Here are
probably
the
not.
opportunities in which you can sue us successfully. Like, that's not a billboard they're putting up at the mountain.
Well, actually, I think because if it was the chairlift, wouldn't that be a limited product liability thing?
So you could, in theory, sue on a strict liability if you could prove that the chairlift was either manufactured with a defect relative to its design or designed with a defect inherent in, like, if there was a defect inherent to the design and they produced it anyway.
Ah.
But strict liability plays by slightly different rules. So they don't live on a typical negligence scale. It's like, what would it cost to produce this thing without the risk? And is it still economically feasible to do so? Right? So if you've got a chairlift that costs $100 million, and there are some known risks in chairlifts, like rollbacks are a known lift in chairlifts. Like sometimes it's going to happen by design. And to create a chairlift that will never suffer a rollback is another $150 million. The court's not going to say you should have done that unless they can prove that it's still economically viable over 20 chairlifts in the operation of a mountain.
Okay.
Right? Like at some point, courts recognize the necessity of business and economic transactions. And they don't recognize that there is no risk for people. They recognize that everyone needs to take reasonable action to limit the risk that they cause other people. Reasonable being the key word.
Right.
So then how do you measure reasonable? And it depends, right? In strict products liability, it's an economics question. For like you relative to another person, it's the reasonably prudent person under same or similar circumstances, right? It's fucking Poindexter, the pocket protection person.
Yeah.
What would Poindexter do to make me safe? Oh, well, he wouldn't do that. Oh, well, then if you didn't do that, you're probably okay. Oh, he would have done that, but you didn't. Oh, you're probably negligent. You're probably liable. Right? It's really simple analysis. It on some level, it's just a balancing equation.
I went to Rutgers. I know.
What did he call it? The 109th rated law school in the country?
It's like the best part so far. So you kind of went to law school then.
Yeah. Right? But it's just...
Are you guys talking about Reacher?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When he says he needs his lawyer, and he's like, "You went to law school, right?" He's like, "I went to Rutgers." He's like, "You kind of went to law school then."
I think I remember that.
P.S. All of these are hypotheticals. None of these represent legal advice.
Yes, does not.
Yeah.
As I am not allowed to
This
provide
is
legal
not
advice.
legal
No, I'm
advice
not-
from Legal Lane.
So
But it's all just... But the waiver is mostly a marketing tool to convince people they can't sue.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's basically like, I'm going to sue. They're like, yeah, well, you accepted responsibility when you got on the mountain, so go to hell.
Yeah, before you ever sign the waiver, like you were skiing.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what's really interesting is because Heavenly has what we call sightseers.
Yeah.
They have to execute the same waiver,
Yes.
which is
Which is probably more applicable, right? Because sightseeing, not necessarily an inherently dangerous activity.
right.
You're right. You're writing up what you suspect is otherwise a safe piece of equipment to do things that are relatively benign.
Huh.
Like, what risk are they assuming naturally to the activity?
Well, the ride on the gondola.
Yeah, but do they know that?
I think.
Like, are
there's-
they familiar enough with the exercise? Like, skiers kind of know.
Yeah.
Because, we ride 1,000 chairs a year.
Yeah.
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 But if you're just like, oh, I've never been here before, I want to go to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, okay.
So probably more applicable for sightseeing than it is for skiing, if I'm being honest.
okay.
Well, it's like skydiving, right? Someone else packs your parachute, and your parachute doesn't open, and you don't die, you get maimed, right? You're permanently injured forever.
Right.
And you're like, my parachute didn't open. You know what the court's going to say?
Who packed your parachute?
Why'd you jump out of the plane?
No. Perfectly good aircraft.
Yeah, it was a perfectly working aircraft. Why would I jump out of the plane?
about going
Speaking of
skydiving.
being
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
I thought about doing that.
Jumping
I
out of a
hate
plane?
Yeah, I hate heights, but I figure that might
Oh,
be
that's
one of those
right.
things that might help.
I don't think
The
so.
helicopter didn't work.
So
but
he has an inherent fear of riding the chair or riding a lift.
Yes.
my
So-
inherent fear is not the fact that I'm riding, not the fact that I'm high. It's the fact that I'm gonna hit the ground, I'm gonna live, and I'm gonna be paralyzed. That's my issue.
So what you're asking is that relevant?
Yes.
And the answer is no.
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 Okay.
That's
well,
relevant.
his circumstance isn't relevant.
That would be relevant for intentional infliction of emotional distress. If someone, say, beat him unconscious, tied him to a chair, waited for him to wake up, knowing that he was afraid of heights, and then turned on the chair.
Sir, my friend Lane beat me.
Really, we just call
P.S.
that.
You'd also be You'd also be liable for battery and guilty of criminal offenses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just,
and probably false imprisonment.
we just file that under Kevin's next bachelor party.
Yeah.
Hit him with the tranquilizer, see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Don't
and
worry, BA. This is gonna be fine.
And speaking of all of this failure of lifts, there was a family of 4 in Austria that fell. They were in a gondola car and they fell.
The car fell?
Did the
or-
car
The
fall?
car
or did they
fell.
Yeah,
fall?
they all made it though, right?
Yeah, they all lived. But can you imagine?
No.
No.
God.
Do you see why though?
What do you mean?
Family's
It wasn't.
never going
It
skiing
wasn't a
again.
flaw inherent to the gondola itself.
Really?
Yes, a tree fell on the cable.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yes.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
funny. They left that part out.
So, yeah, exactly. So the tree falls on it.
When did that become a maintenance?
How does
I think it broke the cable.
but then other people would have.
Yeah, I don't know if they had some safety mechanism on it inside the wheel housings, like from tower to tower.
I think they do, don't they?
But a tree hit it, which is what started the sequence of events that led to that car falling.
Wow.
It wasn't like it just fell. Now, not that that can't happen, but in this instance, it's not what happened.
That tree probably hit that car and the attachment of that car to the.
Yeah, it said it hit the
to
rope.
haul
I didn't
rope.
see that it hit the car itself.
Interesting. Well, maybe
But it could have.
Yeah, or
Could
so
have just been bad reporting.
or so close to the car when it hit. You know, it's like didn't hit the car, but maybe 2
Release
feet,
the clamp or something.
2
and-
feet in front or 2 feet in back.
Yeah.
And it
I mean, a
popped.
lot of things could happen.
Right.
I mean, we're still talking
the
about
good-
a big piece of metal hanging from another piece of metal that's moving.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news is nobody died.
Yeah.
You know, and it was
They're
they
just
said
scarred for life.
it was 23 feet.
Oh, yeah, that's not that bad.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So it's like what the first story of a.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've looked out the gondola cars at Heavenly and been like, yeah, I'd survive that.
I have questions.
I do that when I look down.
I
the
have
lift.
questions. It's like, well, if I hit the slope, I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, but how far? There's a big arm. It's square. You'd probably be okay. It would crush a little bit. It'd become odd shape. Plus, there's a lot of debris. I
would-
think you'd be okay.
I would really hope I had my helmet on. That's for sure.
Just the most important part is to remember to jump right before it hits the ground.
Right.
That's ridiculous. Lay on your side.
What?
Lay on your side.
No, I'm not. No, I'll get the wind knocked out of me.
Lay on your side.
Lay on the bench.
Yeah, we're on your side. Doesn't matter where.
Oh, okay.
What's that do?
Why is
Like
that? Oh, it spreads out the impact.
Yes, and it's less susceptible than if you're laying on your stomach or your back.
Oh.
Because you don't.
Is
want
Well,
what,
yeah,
is
you
what
would-
I was told.
Yeah, you would have less compression if you are. So
You're
you
less
would have
exposed.
you would have more compression on the body, whether you're on your stomach or on your back, and when you're on your side, you have a little bit of cushion to the vital.
Yeah, you're
to your back.
You're protecting the brain.
Well, the helmet's doing that. I hope.
Well, but if you lay sideways,
Yeah.
and not on your, if you lay on your back or your front,
Uh-huh.
your brain is still inside. It's still in the fluid, and the force is going to cause your brain to hit the front part of your skull. That's the boxing problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why you do your side, because then your in theory your neck kind of absorbs that, and your brain doesn't go as hard into the skull.
Well, yeah. I mean, your shoulder, your hips. You know.
Yeah.
All
I mean, all this. Listen, if you're planning on falling in a gondola, like, do your research. I was told to lay on your side.
so
Is that like arm up like this? Or-
One would assume.
Or as
So-
they say in the courts, why did you get in the gondola?
Well, but there's a legitimate argument in that. Like, I thought it was safe. Like, if you look at a judge and you're like, "Why'd you jump out of the plane?" I thought it was safe. Oh, did you now?
No, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
How-
answer has always seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
These guys are supposed to
So-
be professionals packing my chute.
Remember the other night we were watching Warren Miller?
Yeah.
And if you first don't succeed, failure may be your
Maybe your thing.
maybe your thing. That was so awesome. It was at the end of the
I mean, listen, as much as I like Warren Miller, he was particularly arrogant
oh yeah
when he opened up.
yeah I could see that.
There are lines you hear it and you're like, oh, I know who you are now. I've met you before.
Jerry's of Bear Mountain.
Oh my God, there's already good ones.
It's just a gem of entertainment every day. I'm just like, oh,
So I don't know if Lane saw it, and I don't think you guys have seen it, but there's this skier is in the parking lot. He came off the hill, down the metal stairs, and was in the parking lot in the handicapped area, still on his skis.
yeah.
And it was just unfrickin'.
Those skis are smoked.
And oh yeah, well,
You know what they're going to look
they're
like?
rentals.
You know what they're going to look like?
What?
Your E100s.
Oh, no, my E100s don't look that. Oh,
Shade, throwing
good
shade.
God, man.
Shots fired. That's what you
And
get for not getting on the mountain.
You know what?
son.
And I
Ugh.
was about to retire those puppies. Now I'm not. Now I'm.
nope.
And in fact, I got to go. Hey, Lane, let's go up and show up.
Show
on
up
my
on the E100s.
They're so thin. If you skated over bubblegum, you could tell me what flavor it is.
You know what? I could probably get another tune out of them. I probably can get another one more
Bass grind?
bass grind.
You're crazy.
No. It'd be a very,
Weren't you already told no?
No, I was already told one more.
Okay.
But that one more.
That was a friend. That was a
May-
generous friend.
No, well, it was Fox, and James is his first name. I don't remember what his last name is, but his nickname was Fox. He ran the repair shop at Heavenly. He's now a rep for one of the ski companies. No, he's a rep for the grinder for the
Oh, that super fancy grinder they have at Cal Lodge?
yeah.
Yeah, the fully automated like run through machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
computer generated. Yeah. He said I have one more for that, if that. He goes, I may.
What?
He
No.
goes, I may ruin them. They may get ruined as a result of trying to do one more run. And it's like, yeah, I'm okay.
I mean, if you do ruin them, you have to shadow box them upside down so that you can show the base.
Yeah. We'll buy you the shadow box.
What was that? Was that a Discord thing?
Yeah.
Oh, Casey's getting blown up on Discord.
Notification.
Yep. I forgot to turn it off this time.
Oh.
what did we?
Probably my comments on the Android versus iPhone.
What did I miss? Did I miss anything really?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
You're good.
Well,
Just the days on the mountain.
So,
That's for sure. He says he's going Monday, but who knows?
I mean, if we get out of here in time, I'm going up tomorrow.
oh,
There
yeah?
you go.
Listen,
Yeah.
I went up today,
So-
like I said, and I'm sore. Like my shoulders.
Tomorrow's
are
gonna be a
sore.
good day to get up too.
Yeah. Powder board's coming out.
Pow pow.
I'm not. I don't think I'm recovered enough from working as much as I did, knowing that work and meat doesn't agree on an exponential basis.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to recover from the holidays. I'm just starting to feel recovered.
I'll bet.
After getting called off because the gondola's down a couple days and then having a couple days off in here, just starting to feel normal again.
I'll bet. Yeah, I know you were pretty torqued.
Oh, man, I was beat up.
Yeah, and actually, even tonight you were a little feisty.
Yeah, but that was for other reasons.
Sure.
I was pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
okay.
feeling normal.
What's that?
I'm feeling normal.
Listen,
You were
It's about
kind of,
time.
you were kind of hangry.
It's about time.
Oh,
No,
so
I'm
one
not
last
hangry.
topic. In Oregon,
Yes.
the 2A state ban?
Yeah, they have banned, and it's a permanent injunction
By the state Supreme
by
Court.
the state Supreme Court,
Yes.
and for magazine and something else banned.
I think it's assault weapons.
Assault weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. Or
So-
what?
I don't think it
or what
matters.
is perceived as assault weapon.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I don't think it matters.
You don't think so?
No, because it doesn't apply to any other state.
Well, and one of the comments from Armed Scholar, I believe, said that the state is going to take it up to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, with all the rest of them. It's all going to be the same
Yeah,
case.
they're all going to combine.
It's all going to be a single argument. The Supreme Court is going to have to take it eventually. We just don't know when.
Right.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they agree to hear it before the end of the term.
Okay.
But then again, 50-50, I wouldn't be surprised if they put it off until next term either. So who knows?
So if they have a ban and we prevail all the way to the Supreme Court, that it's unconstitutional to, I guess, own an assault weapon or what's considered an assault weapon in a political arena, and the magazine ban, does that mean I'll be getting an AR like I could get in Nevada, except now I could get it in California?
Yeah, literally the day they rule.
Nice.
It'll go into effect once it comes out of the Supreme Court. It'll go into effect immediately. Now, that's not to say California's not going to try and find some loopholes or the few things they didn't talk about. They're going to try and pass laws. It's California, right?
Right.
California, Nevada, Illinois. They're all going to try and do something.
Nevada too, you think?
No,
No.
they're not illegal now in Nevada.
Yeah.
You can own a machine gun in Nevada.
Yeah, but you got to go through all the hoops.
You
and
have to get
hoops
taxed.
You have to pay
and
the
drama.
tax stamp.
Yeah. But you got to go through hoops.
But you can do it.
Not many hoops.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not many.
Not many.
What background?
It's the
check?
length of the time of the background check. They're taking their sweet ass time.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably easier to get a passport.
It's like
but-
7 months. I think it's like 7 months right now.
Oh, so
In-
that's
in
not too
Nevada.
bad.
The
Plus
nice
the
thing
$250
with,
bucks.
CCW is you don't have to go through the background check anymore.
You do for the
That-
tax
yeah,
stamp.
for the tax
stamp.
Different
Yeah.
background check.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that one.
For the state background checks, if you have a CCW, they just keep it on file. They just register your card and they know, oh, it's this person.
So
But
does,
federal background checks are different.
does California get around the assault ban type of gun with the features that they have on their?
The featureless weapon, which is stupid.
I guess that's what.
Stupid.
When
Yeah.
you say featureless weapon, what do you mean?
That means it doesn't have any features.
It means that the pistol grip is nullified by that stupid plastic fin you put on there. And
Right.
Yep.
You have to release the upper to load a fixed magazine, an artificially fixed magazine.
Yep.
It's just dumb.
No, I know. I don't agree with the features that they're banning or the featureless situations. But could California get around that?
No.
No, with that gun, with that,
I don't think
with
so.
those types of features.
I mean, they might try, but I don't think it's. If the Supreme Court says these bans are unconstitutional, all of the things that flow from that, like the stupid plastic fin on the pistol grip, all that's going to be found to be unconstitutional.
Okay.
It's all going to flow from the same decision. Now, that's not to say if they don't speak to it specifically, will California try to keep it in place? Probably.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Will it hold up in the end? No, it won't, but you might be stuck waiting for another 2 years.
Got it. God damn it.
Yeah.
But
California's already crafting loopholes.
Right.
as they said in Straight Outta Compton, we have cocaine from Mexico and guns from Russia, and none of us have passports.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
America.
America. All right.
Are we about done?
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
maybe we can be.
Casey, it's good to have you back.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it is.
Yeah, it's
It's
good
nice
to be back.
see you.
I know. It's good to be back. Feels good. Nice to be able to smoke a cigar.
Someone just added in. I
Oh, did they?
apologize you
Oh.
didn't catch the rest of it.
Yeah, look what I can do.
But we're going to call it for the night.
Does it
just
say
got
who?
here.
Does it say who?
No, I'm not even. Mine on Kevin's. On mine, it's just I'm just logged
I
in.
just see a number.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't say it on mine.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks
That
for
was
hanging out.
That was another
Thank you.
Daily Torch, guys. If you made it this far, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what we can do better.